when airlines that have taken the BCCI contract to carry players and officials for the ongoing ICC Cricket World Cup touched down at Ahmedabad airport last week, they were in for an unexpected surprise. The airport has proposed a tenfold increase in user charges for the charter flights, triggering a backlash from major airlines. While the airlines have asserted that the sudden hike is illegal and will render charter operations unaffordable, the Adani Group-owned airport cited a higher than usual surge in traffic necessitated extra resources from the Ahmedabad airport as charter operations do not adhere to a fixed schedule. The Ahmedabad airport issued a tariff list last month that showed the airport has levied a minimum of 2,65,000 rupees general aviation charges on charter flights that carry more than 15 passengers, above which an additional charge of 17,667 rupees will apply per passenger. These charges are in addition to the landing and parking fees. But do airports have the authority to raise user charges based on the sporadic increase in airline operations?
Every 5 years, which there are control periods, ERA determines tariff, right? And there is a ceiling which has been given. Now, under that ceiling, which has been given, the airport operator can charge the fees that they want from the users. So if it's within the ambit of aeronautical charges, ERA obviously has the jurisdiction. However, within the ceiling, if the airport operator charges, it is fine. If it is beyond the ceiling, obviously it needs to go back to the to ERA for approval. Now, what Adani has charged additional is obviously something that ERA and the operator, which is the concessionaire here, Adani, needs to deliberate whether they come under aeronautical services or non-aeronautical services. That is something which can be easily determined.
According to media reports, the Airport Economic Regulatory Authority has issued notice to the airport indicating that airport charges and tariffs that are not authorized by it are illegal. While airports are not allowed to increase aeronautical charges, the Adani-owned airport argues that the charges it levied are non-aeronautical in nature and hence seeking ERA's approval wasn't necessary. However, Air India veteran Jitendra Bhargava disputes the airport's rationale. He elaborates on why the airport's argument doesn't hold ground.
What we generally understand is that non-aeronautical charges are those which you have it in the terminal. The duty-free shopping, the shopping arcade that you have, the eateries that you have at an airport, etc. But anything to do with the tarmac constitutes aeronautical traffic. And that is what we normally take it. And that is what ERA will also take while approving the charges for any airport management, when they look at all the parameters and say, how do we ensure that airports get adequate returns? You look at the total traffic, look at the tariff, and look at the cost. And they advertise much earlier. In this case, it wasn't known to the airlines till such time they had already contracted their businesses with the BCCI, etc., for charters, running of charters, and then they certainly caught unawares. This is simply not done.
Justifying the raised charges, a senior airport official told media outlets that the hiked fees were applicable for charter flights operating beyond designated hours during the World Cup matches. These flights incur higher costs for the airport due to the deployment of additional manpower and the extra services to passengers on board. Aviation experts point out that if the surge in air traffic during the World Cup genuinely posed a concern, other airport operators should have also raised their charges. And in situations where tariff hikes are inevitable, adequate justification should be given to the regulatory authority to get their case examined and approved accordingly. An arbitrary modification in tariff rates in any other case is inadmissible, experts contend.
If you like this video, share it and subscribe to Business Standard. For more news, views, and insights, log on to www.business-standard.com. Do also follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Telegram, and LinkedIn.
She has ambitions of becoming a brand. Business Standard.